Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Blake,
I'm Bobby Buckets.
and we are here with Fumbles and Floaters. This is a podcast by WTD, Witness the Dream. We'll have Jalen on next week to be the moderator and be a part of the conversation. But yeah, I don't know what he's doing today. I think he's getting a new bed set or something. I don't know why I said that,
Oh
but
man, man kind of flaked on us last second.
yeah, so Bobby and I met in college. We were roommates freshman year, and then went our separate ways sophomore year. But we found our way back together. And Jalen and I started Witness the Dream, WTD, our clothing brand and creative brand, in high school, and just launched our first tee. Working with Bobby on some merch and getting some podcasts popping. So I don't know if there's anything you want to add, but
Yeah, no, I just think we wanted to start this, just kind of get some content stuff, and we love sports, love talking about it, so just something cool, to kind of discuss and get some content for you guys.
for sure. So, as y'all know, fumbles, football, floaters, basketball. We may mention other sports like go over the MLB, whoever wins the World Series, but we're
I was
mainly
thinking
passionate.
cricket,
Cricket?
cricket a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm big into cricket. All my time I spend in Albuquerque. I love cricket. No, I don't know, but it's mainly gonna be football and basketball. So yeah, I mean, we can just dive into it, Bobby, if you wanna get into the
Yeah,
notes you have for these past week.
yeah. So we can kind of just talk about if you guys kind of background. For me, football, I'm a Raiders fan. Basketball, I'm a Denver Nuggets fan. I know a lot of people ask like that's kind of no correlation, but Allen Iverson, he's one of my favorite players when he was on the Nuggets, so I kind of just stuck with the Nuggets since then. So this is a good year for us. And Raiders, I'm from like the Northern California area. And Blake, I mean, we all know that you're a Jaguars fan, right?
No, but so you're from Northern California. What's Sacramento's football team?
They don't have one. That's why I'm a Raiders fan.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so I'm from a city that actually has all four sports. So I love the Cowboys, and I'm a Mavs fan. So
You're not,
yeah, I
so
mean, we had
you're
tough
not a
weeks,
Gardner Minshew.
huh?
I
No,
thought you were a big
Gardner.
Jaguars fan, bro.
No, I no. That's I don't like the Jaguars. I think that's Jalen, but um,
No,
Gardner's been
anyways,
killing it.
yeah. So yeah, Blake, all the Dallas teams, a mix. So yeah, so this week, I don't know if you guys seen the Raiders versus Bucks. It actually was a close game for 3 quarters. Going into the fourth quarter, the Raiders were only down 7, but they just took off in the fourth. If you watch the game, it wasn't really much after the third quarter for the Raiders. I mean, what I was frustrated with was Josh Jacobs. He had 10 carries for 17 yards. Like, like that's just not
Man,
gonna get it done.
you think?
That was painful. Tom Brady, 4 touchdowns,
It's
369
cooking.
yards. He was cooking. They have so many weapons. It's tough. I know you probably have some thoughts on that game.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost is the Raiders got raided. That's a new phrase whenever the Raiders lose. I mean, I think it's scary. Gronk coming alive the last 2 weeks. I know he talked about it in a post game interview I saw last week, just about how he's like finally understanding the system. And they just pass Jerry Rice and Joe Montana for like most touchdown
Most touchdowns
connection.
as a duo, yeah.
Yeah, I think they're first or second.
Yeah, I think they're second
They're about to
behind,
then.
I believe, Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison. I
Oh,
think.
okay,
I
okay.
think. I think I could be wrong, but I think that's it.
That sounds right. Either way, I was blown away by that stat. I knew they had a bunch of touchdowns together, but um, yeah, that's scary for the rest of the league when Gronk starts cooking. They add Antonio Brown. Yeah,
Yeah, I think they might have the best weapons we have seen on any football team
maybe ever.
ever. You got Mike
Yeah,
Evans, Chris Godwin, and they just added Antonio Brown. A lot of people talk about Gronk, but then they have OJ Howard, who's a first round pick, and then
yeah,
running backs. You had Leonard Fournette, who is a first round pick. Ronald Jones, who's really good, and then people forget they have, I believe, LaShawn McCoy, right?
yeah. As
So
their third back.
yeah, like Like it's just crazy the weapons they have. Um, but I mean they've been doing good. And another thing that people are talking about, or people are talking about now, but their defense is really good.
Tough.
They locked down Aaron Rodgers the week before. The Raiders couldn't get much going, run game, nothing. So that's going to be a good team to watch moving forward. And I mean, opposite of that, a team that's not going to be good to watch moving forward is your team, the Dallas Cowboys.
That
Um,
hurts.
I mean, really, there's not much to talk about. They flew out to Washington to kick a field
To
goal.
Landover.
Uh, land over to kick a field goal. Um, yeah, I
Man,
mean, what do you got for me for that game? I know you sat there and watched every minute of it, enjoying it.
nah. So actually, there's a good Netflix show that just came out called The Hunting of Bly House. So my wife turned that on about halftime and got a few episodes deep in that. So I didn't even watch the second half. The first half was actually really sad. It sounds just really like if Drake made a really sad album called 11 a.m. in Landover. What doesn't he? What are the other songs like 5 a.m. in Dallas, 9 a.m. in Dallas,
Uh,
stuff like that?
yeah,
He's
yeah.
got another
Something in
one,
Houston.
but
Something in
yeah,
Houston.
this game was terrible, bro. I just literally saw we traded Everson Griffin, who I
Oh yeah, that
was
was
big on. I was excited for. And yeah, I don't know what he came to Dallas to do. I don't know if he was scouting franchise locations to open a fast food joint or what he was doing down here, but he didn't do much. Andy Dalton's out. I don't know who's gonna play quarterback next week. I'm just confused. I'm dazed and confused. I'm bamboozled. Um, yeah, it's sad because we have behind the Bucs, we may have the best receiving trio in the league. The top three with
it's
CD
up there. It's
Lamb,
up there.
Amari, Michael Gallup's amazing, and then
Yeah, it's really good.
Zeke still a top three back. But our defense is hot trash.
That's to say the least. And I'm gonna be honest. Like, so going in the year, I thought the Cowboys were gonna be a pretty good team.
Yeah.
I didn't think a lot of some people had like a lot of hype on them. I thought they'd probably be like a 10-6, 9-7, win the division.
Mm.
Um, and I'm gonna be honest. Even before Dak got hurt, the defense was just terrible, but the offense did look really good. Um, but I thought they would still win some more games, and like they were kind of disappointing. But now that Dak went down, I'm thinking Andy Dalton's going to come in. The offense is not going to look as good, but they're going to
Mm.
be all right. Like they're going to still score, and they
Yeah.
just can't score still. And that with all those weapons and stuff, I know what you said they had a lot of injuries on the O line.
Yeah, they have
Um,
yeah, three Pro Bowlers out.
yeah, I mean that doesn't help, but I think it's kind of showing too that Dak definitely deserves to get paid.
100%.
Somewhere I don't think he's Mahomes, but he definitely deserves to get paid because it's showing even Andy Dalton, who probably was considered the best backup in the NFL,
Absolutely.
going into the year, uh, and he can't with all those weapons there can't score and stuff like that still. So
And Dak just gives them like that hope. He's a leader. He
yeah,
feels like you feel like you can be in any game at least. Maybe you may not win it, but you're gonna be in it. But I don't feel that now. I think our next QB's been DaVincio, Da Vinci. I don't know, but
yeah, he was a starter at like I seen like James Washington or like some I don't
yeah, he
know.
was majoring in like I don't know. He was majoring in like 17th century history or something. I don't know what he's doing out there, but we about to be garbage.
Or James Madison,
Yeah,
something I
James
don't
Madison.
know.
That's what it was. My
That's what it
bad.
was, James Madison.
Benjamin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, call mine is legal. Yeah, man, it's sad and but weirdly enough, I do want to give props to Washington. Their defense looks nice.
Yeah, their
Chase
defense is good.
Young, he is gonna be him and Joey Bosa. I can't believe they were both at Ohio State because they are both really good. Um, they have a couple of, like Bama D linemen. They're so I think moving forward they have a good foundation. I like Ron Rivera as a coach, but yeah, that was a bad one to watch.
Yeah, and they got offensively, they got some weapons that are
Hmm.
kind of underrated. Like the running back Gibson.
Yeah,
Probably a lot of people haven't really heard of him, but he had I mean, it's against the Cowboys, but he's been pretty good. And the receiver, Mix something like
McLaurin,
McLaughlin or
McLaurin,
McLaurin or
Terry,
something.
yeah,
Terry, yeah, he's been really good all year. A lot of people probably don't know much about him. I didn't know much about him, but he's been
yeah,
really consistent all year,
been cooking.
putting up numbers with different quarterbacks. They went through Alex Smith, uh, Haskins, and I think
Kyle
Kyle
Allen,
Allen is
yeah,
the new one. Like they've had like so he's been consistent though.
yeah,
Um, all right, let's move on to the game of the week. Seahawks versus Cards, Sunday night football. This game was crazy. Um, just I mean, if you've seen it, Tyler Lockett had a crazy game. He had 15 receptions, 200 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's just ridiculous. I'm not gonna lie. I was happy because I had him on my fantasy team. Still lost, which we'll talk about a little bit later, but
there you go.
that game was crazy. The Cards, two really there wasn't much like good defense besides like turnover wise, but like
Hmm.
I mean like they created a lot of turnovers, but like it was a high scoring game. What you got? What you got for me on this game? What you think?
Yeah, I mean, excuse me. I think it's just it's a battle of the. I mean, everybody says the short quarterbacks, but I think it just goes to show they're both so mobile and they can sling it downfield as we see. And it's almost like Christian Kirk is kind of their version of Lockett, the downfield threat. And
Yeah.
then Cardinals outing DeAndre Hopkins is big. I think the Cardinals are going to be really good for the next couple years. I like Kingsbury as a coach. I was kind of concerned about him at first, just making the jump that soon, and he had losing records in college. But whenever you find a coach and a QB that work that well together, and everybody buys into the system, I mean, we just see it. I mean, the Cards were trash last year, or the year before got Kyler, and they turned it around. So I think that's big. I think anytime you have Russell Wilson, they're going to be Super Bowl contenders. So I think they have as good as a shot as anybody this year to win
Yeah. And kind of funny because remember back in college we used to work security at the Cardinals
at the
games.
Cardinals, and they were
Um,
Carson Palmer in it up,
yeah, yeah, Carson Palmer. They weren't very good.
throwing to Michael
Um,
Floyd, and yeah, it
yeah,
was.
Michael Floyd and Larry Fitzgerald. They still have Larry Fitzgerald. I mean, he's a beast. I think he just he passed someone or no, he passed someone I think last week. Now he passed like
He's
I think
second to Jerry.
4,000.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he has like 4,000. I think he got over 4,000 receptions or something like that.
Yep.
I mean he's great. It's great, and like you said, Hopkins is great. Christian Kirk, they have a good core. Kenyon Drake got hurt actually in the game, so I heard he's gonna miss a couple weeks, so they'll probably miss him. But
It's
their
tough.
Chase Edmond, the backup, is
He's
really
good.
good receiving back.
Yeah.
So they'll still have him. And then just kind of watching the game, kind of some big moments. It's crazy. They started the game off. I think Russell Wilson threw like a bomb to Tyler Lockett, one-handed catch. And
Yeah.
then Lockett had another crazy catch in the back of the end zone where it looked like when I was watching, I had Lockett in fantasy. And when Russell Wilson threw it, I think it was later in the game. I was like, I was like, dang,
No
he
way.
overthrew him. Like it's going to be out of bounds. And somehow Lockett caught it and got his like foot down barely. I was like, yeah, this is crazy. I
Yeah.
was hyped. And then Metcalf on the pick that Russell Wilson threw. It was crazy. I mean, it's all over Twitter, everything.
Yeah,
I've seen
dude.
so many memes and stuff about it. Of Metcalf chasing down Buda Baker, which is crazy because Buda Baker isn't just like some slow dude. He just looked like
Yeah.
he looked like he
Like a
was
jet took off, man.
yeah, like he was, and it's crazy because how big he is. Like he is big, and he like just hawked him down. He passed to Russell Wilson, who's fast, and I was just like, "There's no way he caught him." And that's why if the Seahawks would have won, that was like one of the biggest plays
Absolutely.
of the game because it saved pretty much 4 points because they only actually got a field goal once they got there, so the Seahawks got the stop.
Yeah.
That was just a
Well,
big play.
I mean, two things to that, 100%. And that's one of those plays where even just you can probably attest to this, I can too, just being on a team, whenever you see somebody make an effort play like that, you just buy in.
Yeah,
It's like a emotional turning point where everybody just gets recharged. So it's like it's much more than, of course they saved a couple points, but I don't know. That's just big whenever you see somebody do that. But also I was gonna ask you, in terms of Russell Wilson and Tyler Lockett, is there a better QB receiver combo? Because they've been They just connect on every level
Yeah, and it's kind of an underrated combo too
for sure.
because like people don't really talk about it. People don't really talk about Tyler Lockett, but he was really good last year too. He
Yeah,
actually had 3 touchdowns versus the Cowboys earlier in the year.
yeah.
So it's like
He
crazy. You don't see a lot of 3 touchdown games by players. Um, he kind of struggled, not really struggled, but like Metcalf was their main receiver the last couple of weeks. But combo wise, I mean, like Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams is really
they're up there.
good right now. They've been
Yeah,
good. Um, yeah, that might it's probably they're at least top 3 for sure.
100%. Yeah.
I mean,
I
Drew Brees,
mean,
Michael Thomas was really good, but Michael Thomas has been injured, so that's kind of not for this like not this season, but
not
last season
relevant
they're
this year.
definitely a
Yeah,
great combo. But it's definitely an underrated one that don't people talk about and don't give credit. And then
100%.
just last on the game, I think it was crazy down the end. The Seahawks in overtime, they actually scored on a play. Metcalf scored like a 40 or 50-yard touchdown, and it got called back on a holding or illegal pick play or something like that. And then Russell Wilson throws his third pick the next play, and they end up the Cardinals coming down and scoring. Like that's so unfortunate.
Yeah, it's I think one a testament to just the Seahawks. Every game they play is ridiculous. It ends up being the
Yeah,
best game of the week. And then NFC West, I mean, they always play each other tough. Even whenever the Cardinals were hot garbage a couple years ago, they'd always be in games. 49ers as well,
yeah,
Rams. They just play each other tough. I know people say that a lot about divisions, but I feel like the only divisions that it's really true is them and then the AFC North. They play always play
yeah.
each
They're
other
always
tough.
tough.
So
Yeah, I remember working too like Cardinal games, and I think
yeah,
one game went to like OT and it ended up in a tie, and it was like 6-6. It was like Cardinals.
yeah.
I forget who they played. It was either the Seahawks or the Niners. It was one
I
of
think it
them.
was the Seahawks. I remember Seahawks fans coming down and everybody just being like 6-6. What did we just pay for? Yeah,
Yeah,
I
and
remember
like it was awkward because like everyone leaving the stadium was just kind of like no one was mad, but
that.
like no one was happy. Like you just see like Cardinals fans and Seahawks fans, they're all together
Like
like
so.
so like we didn't win, we didn't lose.
I know, bro. I remember that vividly. I know you're talking about. That was crazy.
Yeah, that was worse because I was working the escalators.
Oh yeah. Everybody just talking about what red box movies they about to go by, but nobody was worried about the game. Yeah, I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
Oh yeah, that was definitely the game of the week. Another crazy ending though. The Lions versus the Falcons. At this
Yeah.
point, the Falcons are just known for blowing leads. If you didn't watch this game, so the Falcons were down 2 points. It was 16-14. They drove down the field. They get in field goal range after the Lions use all their timeouts. Like they're at like the I think like the 15 or 20-yard line,
Hmm.
and then they could have ran the clock down and kicked the field goal to win because the Lions were out of timeouts. But Todd Gurley breaks through on like a 10-yard run and like tries to go down at the one, but he accidentally crosses the plane, scores a touchdown. And I'm not gonna lie, at the time I was like, all right, they're still gonna win because like there's a minute they have to get a touchdown.
Yeah.
Um, but the Lions come down and I think they threw a bomb to like Kenny Galladay, that got him in field goal position.
Yeah.
And then they actually end up obviously they had to get a touchdown, so they end up scoring. But the bomb really was the big play that got them down there, and they end up blowing another lead. Uh, it's kind of funny, just ever since that Super Bowl, man. Like
Bro,
it's just lead after lead after lead.
it has to be in their head because I've never seen anything like this where they consistently blow leads
Yeah,
like that with that much talent. Like their offenses, Matt Ryan, Todd Gurley, Ridley, Julio Jones, like they're talented. I mean their defense is kind of trash, but
yeah.
um,
And they're the
it's
one who
got to be
blew
a
the lead
mental
to the
thing.
Cowboys earlier, right?
Yeah, yeah,
That was the
no,
first one this
that
year.
was the first one. Yeah, they probably would have held on if it was the Raiders, but if since it was the Cowboys, the Cowboys came back. So I'm glad you remember that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just bad at this point. They had already fired their coach. I don't know what else for the Falcons. That was just crazy. I mean, it wasn't as bad as like they blew like a 20-point lead or whatever it was for the Cowboys, but
It was
still,
bad.
that's an error where you guaranteed unless you get the field goal block or miss a 30-yard field goal, you win the game.
Yeah, And that comes down to coaching too. I feel like. I mean, I don't even know who their interim coach is right now, and I mean, I know Gurley. That's partly on him, but it's got to be super clear. Hey, don't score. We need to get down, run the clock off a little bit.
Yeah, and it looked like they had talked about it before because he tried to go down, but he just like last second probably remembered. He's like, "Oh snap, I'm not supposed to score this."
Yeah,
Um, but I mean, for
that's
fantasy
tough.
owners, they're probably happy. And going into fantasy, I'm gonna just talk about how I lost this week in fantasy. So I was going against Devontae Adams. So going into the Seahawks game, I was like, "There's no way I win" because I was down a bunch of points,
Yeah.
and then because Devontae Adams had like 44 fantasy points in my league.
Mm-hmm.
And then so I'm like, all right, there's no chance I go. And then Tyler Lockett gets me 53 fantasy points in my league. I was like, oh snap, I have a chance. And my team did bad because I also have Josh Jacobs. And
Ooh, nice.
I had to start Le'Veon. All right, I had to start Le'Veon Bell because
Ooh.
Aaron Jones didn't play. Someone picked up Jamal Williams, so I couldn't get him. And Miles Gaskins was on a bye. That's my other running back.
Yeah.
I also have Mahomes, who was terrible this week. Not terrible, or like not terrible, but to his standards, he
It
was
was
terrible.
snowing. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. And then another thing, I had Daniel Jones. He actually played well, but this man breaks for an 80-yard run,
He was
running faster than they said Lamar Jackson has ran this year. No one close to him within 10 yards, and he trips like
bro.
at the 10-yard line. Like, come on. Like that's like I think it was like 7 points I missed out on. This week I lost by 7, but how I
Oh
lost,
wow.
I lost by 7, but how I lost was the dude had the Bears defense, uh, David Montgomery, the running back for the Bears, and
Yeah.
Allen Robinson. I was up 29 points going into Monday Night Football. The Bears defense is getting torched. They had like one sack at one point, getting torched. Allen Robinson wasn't doing nothing until late. Montgomery didn't do nothing late, and then it's 24-3. The Rams are up.
He said, and
It's
then.
third and 3. So you're thinking like, okay, halfback dive, they might get it. If not, run the clock, they'll punt. Like they might come down and score, they might not.
Of
They
course.
call a
Yeah.
reverse play, and the dude fumbles and they return it for a touchdown. That's 8 points right there, and that was the deciding factor in fantasy. I was
How
stunned.
it goes.
I was hurt. That's how I lost. But my team's still doing all right. It's a
What's your
two
record?
quarterback league. I'm 4-3 now.
Oh, me
So
too.
I'm like in
Okay.
the middle of the pack. Yeah. It was tough going against Devontae Adams because I thought I had no chance. Um, Aaron Rodgers had to bounce back through to Devontae Adams a ton. And it's
Yeah.
kind of crazy because Aaron Rodgers obviously he struggled versus the Bucs, but he threw to Devontae Adams. He had like 13 catches,
Yeah.
196 yards, 2 touchdowns. But the next receiver, this is how Aaron Rodgers always had like not good receivers. Like he has one or two that he makes like look really good.
He makes it work. Yeah.
But Adams, outside of Adams, the other receivers combined for 2 catches and 6 yards, and that was just one receiver. They only had one other receiver get a catch, and guess who that receiver was? Can you tell me who that was?
I don't
Off
know.
the top of your head, if you know. Some dude
Absolutely.
named Malik Taylor. I don't know who that is.
I don't either.
He just has no like receivers. Like you look at Tom Brady and then you look at Aaron Rodgers, and you're just like, what the hell? Like
Yeah.
it's crazy. Um, But yeah, like it's crazy what he's doing. I see they just signed like Seth Roberts, who's like he was like the third
He was
receiver for
on.
the Raiders at one point.
He
So
was on the
like
Cardinals too. I'm pretty
yeah,
sure
he was on the
a
Cardinals.
while
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah. So
Jeez.
I mean, it's just crazy the receivers they've had and went through. I don't know. He needs some help though. He actually had a good game though. Um so yeah, let's talk about uh next week and some standings and stuff looking forward.
Yeah. So, excuse me. I printed out the standings. I think some of the biggest ones are. Excuse me. I'll touch on it. So, AFC East: Bills, Dolphins, Patriots, Jets. Obviously, we don't need to talk about the Jets, but man, the Bills and Dolphins. I don't. I mean, I think the Patriots are going to miss the playoffs. I'm pretty sure, and it's I don't know. To me, it seems like it's a changing of the guard in the AFC East. Of course, yeah,
Yeah, the Bills were really good last year too. Josh Allen's been really good. Their
For
defense
sure.
has been good. They got Stephon Diggs now, so gives them another
That
weapon.
was big.
So I kind of expected probably at the beginning of the year the Bills to win the division. The Dolphins have been surprisingly pretty good, 3-3. They
They
actually
have.
had the Texans pick, but I'm shocked that they benched Ryan Fitzpatrick after a really good game and a win. Um, and then the Patriots, they just looked terrible this week. Cam Newton got benched at the end of the game. They couldn't move the ball at all. They got smacked. And the Jets are the Jets. I mean, it is what it is at
Adam
this
Gaze
point.
needs to be fired, man. That's crazy. That
They got
really
they
is.
Sam Darnold is just not it. They have no
No.
weapons. They have no defense. They just it's bad. And the Dolphins is crazy because so with the 2 picks they have, they're set up good for the future. They're probably going to start Tua
100%.
this week. I think who they play? They play the Rams. So that'll be cool to see Tua start. Be
Versus Aaron
interesting to see how he
Donald.
does. Yeah, Aaron Donald, that's tough though.
That's a terrible.
That's definitely tough. But obviously, see Tua's story about coming back from the injuries and stuff. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Story.
I'm excited to see. I'm with you. I think they should have kept with Fitzpatrick throughout this year and let Tua learn more, see more, get as healthy as he can, get a good draft going. He goes into next year, or maybe at least start him a game or two the end of this year. But I don't know. Fitzpatrick had them rallying and had them coming together and winning. So, but
Yeah.
yeah,
And it's kind of like everyone talks about, like everyone loves Ryan Fitzpatrick, like playing with
yeah,
him, all like his teammates and stuff. So it's kind of interesting.
he's yeah. I mean, this is gonna be a weird comparison because I think Dak's 100% better, but with him, I mean, he's a good leader. You feel like you can always be in the game. I mean, he throws a lot of picks. He'd be wild out there diving into
Yeah.
a helicopter, jumps into the end zone. But I
Uh,
don't know. Yeah, he's good. I think he's a good person from Tua to learn from, and yeah. So let's go to. I mean, the AFC West. Not much to talk about. We got the Chiefs. We got the. I don't know. We have the Sacramento Raiders, the Chargers, and then the Broncos.
yeah, I mean, obviously the Chiefs are going to win the division. The Raiders are second though. They've been pretty good. They beat the Chiefs. They're the only team that's beat the Chiefs so far. Obviously it didn't look good versus the Bucs. Um, but yeah, I think the Chiefs are going to run away with it, the division. We play the Browns this week, so hopefully we can get a win. The Chargers and Broncos play each other. I mean, yeah, like you said, there's not much talk about the AFC West.
I mean, I know you're biased, but do you trust the Raiders in the playoffs? Like if they even got to the playoffs, what I mean,
I mean, it's going to be tough. I don't trust. Like honestly, the defense is so inconsistent. Like it looked really good versus the Chiefs, but then you get put up 45 points on by the Bucs. It's like it's not, and like the run game, like it's just not. I don't know. Like offensively, it's random. Like Nelson Aguilar's been really good.
yeah,
Waller, the tight end's been good, but like you
he's
just like
solid.
Nelson Aguilar's been good, but like you don't. He's not like a star receiver. We don't have a star weapon. Henry Ruggs is actually really good though. I think he leads the NFL in like most 40+ yard catches or something like that.
Has he been injured or what's going on with
He
him?
did get injured at one
Okay,
point,
I thought
but
that.
he was back. But Derek Carr, I mean, he's solid. It's just not enough.
It's
I
not.
think I think it might be 1 year away though, like from being like like not a maybe not a Super Bowl contender, but like playoff contender in that sense. I mean, this year they might be a playoff team, but it's
All
borderline. It's borderline. It's tough. It's tough.
right, we're gonna go past that because that was some.
Yeah.
AFC North got the Steelers, only unbeaten team. Ravens, Browns, Bengals. It's weird looking at it because the Browns are 5-2. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I think like the Steelers and Ravens have looked really good. Steelers really, really good.
Yeah, that D line's scary.
The Browns are 5-2. They have not looked good though. Like they've beaten like the teams they're supposed to. I think they lost to both the Steelers and the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
Odell just went down, so
It's tough.
but yeah, it's tough out for the year. But they might get the. I mean, a wild card's for sure coming out of there. They might have both wild cards. the Browns could make it, but this week will be a big test. I think it's a good game actually, the Raiders and the Browns,
Yeah.
because it's like a like Raiders are like a mid-tier team,
Mm-hmm.
and it will kind of show how good the Browns, like if they win, that's like kind of like that's a good win for them.
100%.
Um, and they'll be at 6-2, so they have a good chance at making the playoffs in the AFC as a wild card.
Yeah, who you take in the next 5 years, Baker or Joe Burrow? I'm pretty confident.
I'm taking Joe
I'm
Burrow,
taking Joe, and
but the
that's
Bengals
bad.
O line is terrible. The Bengals are terrible.
And what? He still put up 400 last week.
Yeah, yeah, no, he did. He had a great week, but their O line is terrible,
So
and they need some help. And actually, the Steelers and the Ravens play each other this week.
yes, I was gonna mention that. I'm worried for the Ravens this year, man. This isn't the only reason why, but I have Mark Ingram in fantasy, hasn't been producing. It's a
Yeah,
running back by committee, which I completely get. They have three good running backs, but I don't know. They look shaky this year.
the run game has not been the same as last year, and I think that was obviously Lamar MVP last year, so he had a really good year, but he hasn't been in MVP form this year.
No.
Like I have him in fantasy too, numbers wise. I think he's had like a couple games under like 200 passing yards.
Yeah.
It's crazy actually. They just added Des Bryant to the practice squad,
Yeah.
which is crazy because he's been out of football for a while. But it should be interesting to see if he makes the roster because their receivers not. It's like they're all right, like Marquise
He making
Brown,
the
but
roster, bro.
he loves like Lamar loves his tight ends, Mark Andrews,
Yeah.
and their run game though is what they're banking off, and obviously their defense. But like, yeah, I think the Steelers. This is gonna be a really good game this week. I'm probably taking the Steelers.
Yeah.
They're looking good both on offense and defense. Um, they just had a linebacker get hurt for the year though.
Yeah, Devin Bush, he's out.
Yeah,
He was
Devin Bush.
big.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's big. But
That's
their
a big
offenses
one,
look
but
really good too.
yeah, I feel like every single season they produce a breakout wide receiver. So whoever I saw it on a show or article the other day, whoever's scouting for wide receivers needs a raise
He
because
did
this man Chase
raise.
Claypool is like lighting
Yeah,
it up now.
yeah, he had a bad week this past week, but those past couple weeks before that, he's been really good. They still had Juju,
Yeah,
Eric Ebron, James Conner. Like they got a lot of weapons too.
they're solid for sure.
So that'll be a game to look forward this week.
Yeah, I mean moving on AFC South, Titans, Colts, Texans, Jaguars. Um, I like the Titans, man. They're solid. They're just nothing wowsy about them, but I like their coach Vrabel. They seem to like him. Derrick Henry is still a man.
Derrick Henry is ridiculous. He's too
Yeah,
fast for how big he is. He just runs people over. I mean, they just lost to the Steelers, but they did have a good comeback.
yeah,
They had a chance, but Goskowski missed another field goal. He's missed the most in the NFL.
that's
I'm not
tough.
gonna lie. I get his name, his reputation from the Patriots. They gotta let him go. Like he's missing just too many field goals. The
Yeah,
Colts have been surprising. Um, I don't
nobody
think
takes him
they'll.
serious.
Yeah, though, like I don't think they'll beat the Titans or pass the Titans in
No.
the division. The wild card, like I said, it's AFC North. They could get the second one, maybe with the Browns, because the only other team that second wild card, because I think Steelers or Ravens, one of them is going to get wild card, one of them is going to get division,
Yeah.
and then I think the other wild card, to be honest, is between the Colts and the Raiders and the Browns. That's
Yeah, that's what I
three.
was
That's
gonna
the three.
say.
And the Browns
I
and the
feel
Browns
like
and the
it's
Browns.
more Raiders Browns, dude. I don't see
The Colts. I mean, it just depends on how the Browns end up and the
play the
Raiders.
Lions this week.
And then like the Dolphins are like the sleeper, but I don't know if they can be consistent enough.
They get waxed in the playoffs. They get there, but um, yeah, Texans, man. I feel bad for Deshaun Watson because
They got rid of
everybody,
Hopkins.
yeah, that everybody thought he was gonna rise. Like it was him, Lamar, and Mahomes. Like those are the three next big QBs. And that man O'Brien just, I don't know if he sabotaged them. I don't know what happened, but they're not set up well at all.
Yeah, they don't have their first round pick. Like I said, it's going to the Dolphins.
I
They're
don't think they
one
have
in
their second either.
they're 1-6. They've looked terrible. I don't know. They're not looking. It's looking bad for them.
It's looking
And
really
the
bad.
Jaguars, they're just the Jaguars. I know that's your favorite team and all, but
Yeah, man. Jacksonville till I die, but I mean, they need a little bit more help, man. I love northeastern Florida. That's my heart and soul, but we need yeah. It's rough. So NFC East, yeah, so the NFC West. We got uh
hold
I
on. I'm not gonna lie. The NFC East is just terrible.
see a lot of ones and
They,
twos.
they no one has more than 2 wins. I'm not gonna lie. We can just keep it pushing, and they can do a coin flip for the division, bro. They can do a coin flip. They can do a
Hey
coin flip.
man, play a game of shoots and ladders. Okay, yeah, NFC West. So I think this is the best division in the NFL. I mean,
Oh, by far.
that's probably not a super unpopular pick, but um, each team has a very distinguishable and solid system. Like they all have good coaches. Maybe all have great coaches. Can say that, and
Yeah.
they all have their QBs of the future. And yeah, they just look really damn good.
Yeah. I mean, all right, obviously, who would you say is the worst QB in the division?
Garoppolo, 100%.
Garoppolo or over, yeah, over Golf. I mean, it's between those two. I mean,
I'm
you're taking Kyler and Russell. Russell
They're literally
one,
like the
Kyler
same
two.
person though. I mean, they may be twins. I don't know. Did Garoppolo bleach his or Golf bleach his hair? Because they're like, whenever I think of them, I think of like the same kind of style. I don't know.
Yeah, kind of, and same with like it's like Russell and Kyler. They're kind of the
Yeah,
same, and then you got uh Jared Goff and Jimmy Garoppolo. They're kind of the same.
and same kind of coaches too, like Kingsbury, McVay, and Shanahan. They kind of have like
Yeah,
some of the same philosophies. I feel like.
yeah, and then you just got Pete Carroll just there.
Oh, Pete's the best though, man. I like
Yeah,
him.
no, yeah, I like Pete. Yeah, that division's gonna be really interesting. Um, this week you got the Seahawks and Niners. That's going to
Yeah,
be a really good one.
it's
The
gonna be
Niners,
really
I'm not
good.
going to lie. The Niners have to win, and or I think in order, like their like season's already long shot because they have so many injuries. Seems like they have a different injury every week, and I think they're down to like their like I don't know like
Third and
third or fourth
fourth.
running
Yeah.
back. Um, but they have to win this game to have a chance at playoffs because look at how stacked the NFC is with the Seahawks, Cardinals, um, and then when we move down, our Rams are even good. And then when you move
Yeah.
down to the other divisions, you've got like the Packers, Bears, Bucks, Saints. Like those are all teams that will be fighting for the wild card. One of them from each division, and two from the NFC West. So like the Niners have an uphill battle, and they have all the injuries. I just think they have to win in order to have a chance.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the biggest games of the season because the Rams play the Dolphins. That's probably a win. Um, and then do the other teams have? Oh yeah, and then 49ers, Seahawks. I guess the do the Cardinals have a bye? Yeah, I think the
Yeah,
Cardinals have a
Cardinals have a
bye.
bye. Cardinals should have
So
a bye.
yeah, that's a really big game. It's a even it's just to see if they can with their injuries can they match up with the big dogs, the Seahawks. But one thing I will say about the 49ers is, I mean, they're down to the third and fourth string running backs, but they keep rushing for like 200 yards a game. So they're obviously they got something going, but I just don't think that holds up the rest of the season in the playoffs. I don't think you can have your third and fourth strings against the Steelers or
Yeah,
Chiefs. So,
exactly.
um, yeah, NFC North. This is a weird division because we got the Packers, of course. They're gonna win it. I think we agree on that. But we
Yeah,
got the Bears at 5-2. That's kind of like the Browns of the NFC.
yeah,
Lions, Vikings. So
definitely. The Bears have been surprising. Like they won a few close games early on, and then yeah, Monday night they just looked terrible versus the Rams. Their offense looked terrible. They couldn't run the ball. Nick Foles did not have the fourth, and their defense was the one who scored. So like they just did not look good.
no, they looked they looked bad. I mean, their defense has damn near single handedly kept them in games. But that only goes so far whenever your offense is that trash. Yeah, Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack is still. I don't know. He gets overlooked. He and Darren Donald are a lot closer than I think people realize in terms of
Yeah,
talent.
yeah, Khalil Mack's a beast. I was upset when the Raiders got rid of him. It's just didn't pan out. I'm not gonna lie, but I mean, you just don't give up a talent like that,
Yeah.
especially when your defense is just not good at all. Um, but yeah, their defense has been good. They just, I don't know, their offense looked terrible on Monday night. The Lions have been surprising a little bit, 3-3, but that's always a Lion. They're not gonna get the wild card. They're just gonna be like a 7-9, 8-8, 6-10 team.
Yeah.
Like they're just there. The
Yeah.
Vikings have been disappointing though.
Super disappointing.
I don't
They're
know what's up with them, but they're bad.
yeah, I think the Vikings and the Falcons, they're both really talented teams, but it's really confusing on what they're doing.
Yeah.
I don't know if they need to make. My vote will be a quarterback change. Kirk Cousins needs to get up out of there.
Yeah, I can't believe they paid him. I never thought he was that good, but
No,
they should not have paid him.
no, yeah, absolutely not. Because I mean, solid defense, good running backs, good receivers. But yeah, let's move on to the NFC South. Buccaneers, of course, Saints on their tail, Panthers, Falcons. Yeah, I mean, Buccaneers, who would have ever thought Tom Brady, Gronk, everybody, now Antonio Brown would be in Tampa. I mean, I think they're a clear lock to win this division with how the Saints have looked at times.
Yeah, the Saints have not looked good. Drew Brees has not looked like his normal self, and Tom Brady has looked, really good,
Yeah,
especially last week. But the Saints are still 4-2. They should be getting Michael Thomas back soon, I'd
maybe.
assume, but he keeps getting re-injured and stuff, so you never
Yeah,
know. Um, but I think they could make a run, but the Bucs definitely do look really good.
yeah,
The Saints are kind of they haven't looked good. They're still 4-2. The Panthers, I don't believe in them, especially with no McCaffrey.
yeah,
And the Falcons are terrible. So I think it's probably the Bucs division to lose at this point. Um,
hundred
and their
percent.
the Bucs defense, like I said, they've looked really good, man.
It's
They've looked
tough. Yeah, I think yeah, their defense gets overshadowed, but they're talented on defense, and I could see the Saints kind of making a push to
yeah.
challenge for the division, but I don't know. I think Drew Brees needs to get up out of there after the season. He's been missing some throws he usually doesn't miss.
Yeah, just retire, man.
Yeah,
At that point.
yeah. And then I mean, one of the other games I highlighted was next week's Sunday Night Football, Cowboys and Eagles. I know it's going to be the battle of the hot garbage, but it will. I mean, it's going to play a part in who wins the NFC East and gets waxed in the playoffs.
Yeah, I thought it was big the Cowboys for versus the Redskins. I was like, okay, they might win that, get back on track to win the division. They lost. They have to win this to have a chance at the division.
Yeah,
I think the Eagles probably win. Andy Dalton concussion protocol. Don't know he's going to be there. I mean, this dude from James Madison, George Washington, wherever he's from.
Benjamin Franklin.
Yeah, Benjamin Franklin. Maybe he's I don't know the next. I don't know, but
There we go. That clears it up.
but
That
maybe
gives me hope.
maybe he can rally the troops against the Eagles.
Absolutely not.
Now
They
the
won.
Cowboys are flying. They flew to Washington and got a field goal. Can they fly to Philadelphia?